Whether it is at 94.7 FM or 1320 AM on our radio, or on your phone with the KOFA app, or on your computer with borderradioaz.org, we are glad that you've chosen us. Stay tuned for What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter. It's 10 o'clock.
You probably subscribe to many things today, so why not subscribe to Border Radio? Unlike other services, we don't tell you how much to pay. You get to choose the amount that helps make the soundtrack of your day possible. Consider becoming a sustaining member with a donation of $10 or more per month. Visit borderradioaz.org to start your monthly donation right now.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Victor Calderon, and I'm filling in for Johnny Porter today. And on today's program, AWC men's basketball coach Kyle Isaacs will have a player as the Matadors have a home playoff game tonight. And also we'll have Dave Riek and Alice Ferris to talk about the pledge drive going on this week. Stay tuned for What's Up Yuma Radio on 94.7 FM and streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget that you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
Chili from Philly. Unique Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? I'm Victor Calderon, and I'm filling in today for Johnny Porter. Johnny needed to recharge his batteries, but he told us he will be back with us tomorrow. I don't have Johnny's famous black baseball cap, but I've got some big shoes to fill, and so I'm going to try to bring some of that Johnny energy today. And with me this morning is Alice. Alice Ferris is the development director for our sister station, KAWC, and she'll be with me for the next hour. Alice, thank you for being here today.
Hey, Victor, no problem. And this is going to be fun because this is a little bit outside of my normal wheelhouse, so I don't have to ask people for money the entire hour, but right. I do get to talk to some interesting people, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and so today our first guests are Kyle Isaacs, the head men's basketball coach here at Arizona Western College, and sophomore forward Paora Winitana. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to be here.
And they are here because the Matadors are the #1 seed in their conference playoffs, which start tonight here at AWC against Southern Nevada. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but first let's get to know you two. Coach, you were just named the Conference Coach of the Year for the second time in 5 years.
Woo!
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you, guys. Again, while my name's attached to that award, it really doesn't have much to do with me. It has so much to do with the guys like P here and our staff and all the hard work that they put in, that started back in August.
Yes. And so now, Paora, our viewers and listeners might have noticed an accent there or wondered about your name. But you are originally from New Zealand, and you previously played at Brigham Young University in Utah.
Yep.
So my question for you is, what has it been like to go from New Zealand to Utah and now Yuma?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a culture shock for sure. I was born and raised in New Zealand for most of my life, for the first 16, 17 years, and then moved to Utah in the summer of 2019. And for the first 7, 8 months, it was pretty normal, and then all of a sudden COVID hit. And so it was a pretty unique experience. My family and I just kind of staying grounded in home in America, and not really having much people to go to for all of that. And so it was a very different experience, but I think it brought us closer together as a family. And like you said, I went to Brigham Young University, BYU, afterwards, and it was a great experience for me. I didn't play a whole lot. I was mostly just at the back end of the bench, just learning from the older guys, from the coaches and the staff, and it helped me shape who I am today. And then coming here to Yuma, being an older guy as well on the team, it helped me come into a leadership role and lead some of the guys, and also share some of the skills and talents that I have on the team as well.
Now, I imagine it was a little bit of a culture shock, right? Because you go from New Zealand, home for you, then you come to Utah where there's snow, and then you come to Yuma where there is no snow. And probably the food wasn't the same. They told me to ask you about Tim Tams.
Yeah, Tim Tams is like a cookie or a biscuit, however you want to say it, and you dip it into your hot chocolate. We call it Milo. That's our hot chocolate back in New Zealand, and it's a really good.
Can you get that? Can you get that in Yuma? Do you have to like have it ordered in or like order it on like online or something?
I haven't found any Tim Tams in Yuma, no.
Okay, well, come on, Yuma. We need to get some Tim Tams. Maybe that'll be at like Walmart or something, you know, and any day now. And then, Coach, I wanted to ask you, you know, something I noticed interesting about your background is that you were a student manager and a grad assistant coach for Hall of Fame coach Bob Knight at Texas Tech. So what was that like?
It was one of the best experiences in my life. Getting to be a student from one of the best teachers of the game that's ever, in my opinion, coached basketball. It was always awesome. You learn something new every single day. And a large part of who I am as a coach and as a teacher and as a family man was formulated during those real pivotal years of my basketball coaching career.
Now, I do have to ask because Coach Knight was known for having a little bit of a temper, some might say. Did you ever see him throw any chairs?
No. I mean, he was what we would refer to as excited.
Yes.
But, you know, a lot of that got exaggerated through, you know, whatever it is, the media. But he was, if you were doing your job, there was never any issues. When you weren't doing your job and you weren't working hard and you weren't, you know, putting the team in front of yourself, that's when, you know, you had what we would call was reminders. Right.
And at the end of the day, like, he knew how to win, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever his style was, you know, rubbed some people the wrong way. He knew how to win. He won at Indiana. He won at Texas Tech.
He got the most out of everybody, whether it was a student manager or a graduate assistant or an athletic trainer. Obviously, he got the most out of his student athletes. He knew how to push the right buttons when the buttons need to be pushed.
Mm-hmm. Great. And so, Paora, let's go back to you. So you're in Utah. How do you get recruited here to Yuma to AWC? Tell us about that.
So after my year at BYU, I actually took a gap year, well, 2 gap years. And so I went on a mission for my church. And I actually, funny enough, served in California, Sacramento. And so I lived there for 2 years, teaching people about God and all of that.
Yeah.
And so when I came back, the whole coaching staff at BYU changed. And so that allowed me to enter into the portal. And I was talking with a few schools, and the assistant coach at BYU knew the assistant coach here at AWC, Coach Harral. And so they connected me with him and ultimately knew that this was the right spot for me.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, and so, Paora, when you think about that evolution of coming from BYU to AWC eventually, you know, how have you seen a difference in your ability to grow as a player here as opposed to at BYU?
I think it's just given me more opportunity to showcase that. BYU, it's a very talented school. I mean, right now they have the #1 player in the country, AJ DeBanster. And so just being here, being able to showcase my talents and my skills, being, like I said earlier, jumping into that leadership role, it's helped me a lot.
That's fantastic.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, and so I wanted to follow up with Coach, saying, what qualities are you looking for in a player to say, oh, that student is going to be successful here?
Well, just in our conversation with Paora, his experience and what we like to call wisdom from P. Again, he's wise beyond his years. When we're in the middle of a game, he didn't play as much on Saturday. Just for rest purposes, and we had already taken care of the business. We already for conference championships when we played Saturday, and I was just asking him questions. Hey, what are you seeing? What do you think we need to be doing? And it's again like having an assistant coaches out there, another assistant coach out there on the floor with having P out there, which is awesome. Really advantageous for us.
So we're going to go to break in a little bit, but Paora, I want to ask you, so did you know much about Arizona or Yuma before you came down here?
I had no idea where or what Yuma was before coming down here, but super grateful for it. I mean, it's a little resemblance of home back in New Zealand. It's a pretty small town where I live, a good community, good foundation. People here don't really change or move, and so feels a little bit like home, just a little bit hotter.
Yeah, and you found some good food, hopefully. Maybe not some Tim Tams, but some other good food out here.
Some good Mexican food for sure, yep.
Yes, we have great Mexican food out here. All right, well, we're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we'll talk about why they're here in studio, because there is a playoff game tonight, AWC basketball at the house. And so we'll talk about that coming up after the break. Thank you for listening to What's Up Yuma Radio.
The KAWC Student Newsroom is funded by the Local News Initiative at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, the Scripps Howard Fund, and by generous local support. Thank you for supporting the next generation of public media. Learn more about the project and hear stories from emerging journalists at kawc.org/student newsroom.
You are tuned to 94.7 FM KOFA Border Radio. I'm Cecilia Holland-Braithwaite from the KAWC Newsroom. It's going to be a sunny, breezy day in Yuma with an afternoon high of 79 degrees. The evening low should be 50 degrees under clear skies. Winds are northerly at 15 to 20 miles per hour, but could gust as high as 30 miles per hour. State lawmakers are moving to make recognition of Sharia law by any court in Arizona illegal, but could not agree on exactly what it is and whether any such law could be used here. More on this online at kwc.org.
Welcome to KAWC's The Hotspot.
I'm Chloe Michael.
And I'm Maya Manry. This week, in honor of Black History Month, we spoke with members of the Black community in Yuma, where they shared its turbulent past and the welcoming present.
When there's so little Black people in Yuma, I think it's great to connect with other Black people.
The show is available as a podcast or online at kawc.org under the shows tab.
Bringing the heat to Yuma and La Paz, it's The Hotspot.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Victor Calderon, and we're here in studio with Coach Kyle Isaacs and forward Paora Winitana from AWC men's basketball. So the Matadors won their conference outright for the first time in 17 years. And so, again, congratulations on that.
Thank you, guys.
So, Coach, how was this team able to pull that off?
You know, we just have great leadership with our captain core group, with P, with Jared, who's from Cibola, and Angel, who they're all two-year guys, and Jared's a third-year guy. We have the most experienced roster here in the conference. We have, I think it was 8 sophomores that we honored on sophomore night on Saturday, and that's a really great experience for a community college team, especially when there's really young guys and not a whole lot of experience going along. We brought back a big core group of around 5 or 6 young men. And we lost last year in the region championship game. We got second overall in conference. And, you know, we set out from, I think it was around August 15th when our team got here. This is the goal. This is where we want to be. We know how it felt last year. And these are the things that we have to do on a daily basis. These have got to be our habits. These have got to be our culture. And to their credit, they've really bought in, and they've worked hard every single day.
So, Paora, how, in your opinion, was the team able to make history this year? As Coach has said, you know, you guys work as a team, and, you know, you all have, you know, that cohesiveness on the court. But what do you think, you know, brought you guys together this year?
I mean, we have a saying that we say pretty much every day, and it's just saying, get 1% better. And I think we really bought into that, our hard work on and off the court. Just our togetherness, doing things off the court as well. We're becoming more united by doing that. And I think, like Coach said, it left a bad sting in our mouths last year when we lost in the region championship.
Yeah. So Alice wanted to ask you about, you know, what you have in mind for your future, if you wanted to.
Yeah. So obviously this is a 2-year program, and you are a leader on the team right now. So what do you have intended for what's up next for you after the season is over?
Yeah, so there's a couple options for me. I mean, the coaches have been helping me out on that. Talking to a few schools here and there, but also thinking of potentially maybe going back to New Zealand, playing in the men's league over there.
Nice.
So nothing set in stone yet, but definitely have a few options afterwards.
Well, and follow up for you, Coach, what do you see in your students this year that you're really proud of in terms of their growth and maturity, regardless of what category that growth's in?
And Pete could tell you, again, our core culture is just outworking everybody else. And, you know, sometimes it works with a group of guys, and sometimes it doesn't. And in our recruitment process with student athletes like P, when he came in a couple of years ago, we're really upfront and honest about what the expectations are, upfront and honest about their their work level. I think Riek Pitino said the other day that he gets along with every single student athlete that comes through his programs that work hard. And that's, one of the same kind of mottos that we have here. Every guy that works hard, they love it here and they have a great time. And, that's just kind of one of our core cultures and why we've been successful this year is all the guys have been and continue to buy in and outworking everybody else.
So, Coach, talking about bringing guys in, bringing in young men, I know AWC has a history of bringing in players who many have gone on to four-year colleges. One young man I want to ask about because we're about 1 week away from NCAA March Madness.
Sure.
And I understand you coached about 3 years ago. You coached a young man here at AWC. His name is Yaxel Lindeborg. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes, sir.
He's now with number 3 ranked Michigan. What has it been like to see him, knowing that he was here in Yuma, you were able to work with him, what he's like. What was it like to have him here?
He had a really interesting story. He didn't play a whole lot in high school. He came out here the season that kind of was real interesting with COVID. I was an assistant coach at the time. We only got to play around 13 or 14 games that season, and there was intermittent pauses throughout the whole time. And then, just to watch his growth while he was here for the next 2 seasons, he was honored as Player of the Year his freshman year, and we won the conference his freshman year in a share with Coach East, and then we won the region his sophomore year. Then he left here and graduated and went to UAB and was there for 2 years, and now seeing his success at Michigan has been really great. I mean, they're one of the top 5 teams in the nation. They won the Big Ten, I believe, outright. Yeah, sorry for Wisconsin.
Yeah, sorry.
Apologies. Yeah, they did beat them, though.
Yeah.
They did get them. And, it's great for our program, and it just goes to, we have a saying, from here it's possible, and that is a big proof right there for coming here for 2 seasons and being one of the number 1 portal student athletes that was out there last year and, having an opportunity to potentially get drafted this next year.
Yeah, we'll see, and hopefully he'll do well, and we'll see how he does. So let's get to tonight. So tonight is the Region 1 semifinal. The Matadors play the College of Southern Nevada, 7 p.m. Here at the house. So, Paora, how can the Matadors win tonight? What do you have to do to come out on top?
There's a few key things we need to do. One, they love to run, and so we need to stop the transition. And then, secondly, they love to shoot threes. And so we need
get our hands up.
Get our hands up. Run them off the three-point line, contest shots, make their shots hard, and then get easy layups on the other side too.
And so, Coach, you were talking about, you played them before. They're in your conference, and the winner of this game goes on to the Region 1 championship on Saturday. So we're rooting for the Matadors, of course. But, so talk about, strategy and as much as you can without, giving too much of your secrets. What are you looking for today for your team?
Well, one thing about in the playoffs and why everyone loves March Madness, it's a one-game scenario. Whoever it has won in the past doesn't matter in today's game. Mm-hmm. It's all about survival, and it's all about advancing. The best team may not have success in a one-game scenario. It's whoever plays the hardest and makes the most shots and does all the little marginal things on a game-by-game basis. And going into tonight, it's been for the past 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Guys, we've won the last 3 games that we've played against them this year, but that doesn't matter. This is a new start. Everything that we've done for the past 30 games, whoever is best on a game-by-game basis will move on.
All right. So, again, reminding folks what time and how they can get information on the team and tickets and all that.
So we play tonight, Yuma, at 7 o'clock. I know there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend with Midnight at the Oasis, but we need everybody to show up. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your grandparents, bring your cousins. 7 o'clock at the house. And if you're not here locally, you can watch us on awcmatadors.com.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave it there. But thank you both for joining us this morning. And, of course, can we say go Matadors?
Go Matadors.
Go Matadors.
Thank you, guys.
All right. And we'll be back with Dave Riek, the general manager here at KAWC and Border Radio. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio.
The Yuma County Library District provides activities and resources at its branches for people of all ages. Events include story time, citizenship classes, bilingual programs, crafts, author talks, and more. For more information about the activities and calendar of events, plus other in-person and online resources, visit yumalibrary.org.
From KAWC, this is Siendo Primero. I'm Sajei Bárcenas.
And I'm Melanie Ruiz Lopez. In this new episode, we'll be talking about scholarships.
We want to know, how much passion do you have?
I felt relieved and made me very excited for the new chapter in my life.
That little change that we're able to bring that joy and that hope that they can finish school, that's very rewarding.
A new energy with the same mission.
To give students a voice.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by the 2 Welton locations of High Tanks Brewing Company, its craft brewery and tap room, featuring scratch-made food and handcrafted beers, including Daphne's Date Ale and the Gila Hazy IPA. Also, live music and experiences such as farm tours and glamping are available. More at hightanks.com.
For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. A new report from the Arizona Auditor General's office reveals classroom spending on instruction is the lowest it's been in the state over the last 2 decades. For the 2024 to 2025 school year, Arizona schools spent an average 52.1 cents of every dollar on instruction. Instruction is a specific budget category, which mainly involves salaries and benefits for teachers, aides, and substitutes. Yuma and La Paz schools spent less than the state average, with only one exception, Welton Elementary School District, which spent 52.4% of its dollars on instruction. Are funds being misused? Depends on who you ask. Republican Representative Matt Gress is proposing a mandate schools spend at least 60% on instruction.
They're not making the necessary adjustments in their operating budgets that could end up freeing up per pupil.
More details on the story are available on KAWC.org. For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Join me for Bonus Smiles, the show sharing the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Why? Because the rando cheering you on at a mile 77 aid station is the same kind of person who supports local public radio. Join us every Saturday at 5 a.m. on KOFA at 94.7 FM for stories that soothe and jams that power long runs.
KAWC and Border Radio are sponsors of the Village Jazz Series, with concerts starting at 6 every Thursday evening at Yuma Palms Regional Center. This week, San Diego vocalist Dennis Gittens will perform with his quartet featuring pianist Ed Kornhauser. Guests should bring their own seating. Details under Village Jazz at yumajazz.com.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Victor Calderon, and I'm filling in for Johnny Porter today. I think Johnny might have partied a little too hard or something. No, he's human, so we're going to give him the day off, and he said he'll be back with us tomorrow. Now, before we go on to our guest this segment, I wanted to mention again for our listeners and viewers, if you're watching, the Matadors won the ACCAC Conference Championship. Outright for the first time in 17 years. And if you can see, I'm holding up the flyer. If you're watching the stream, they will have a game tonight at 7 p.m. at the house. So please do come out and support your local college basketball team. And so I am here in studio this morning with Alice Ferris, our development director for KAWC. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. And I'm really amused that you said come to support you almost said local public radio station. I could hear it in your voice.
Well, that as well. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. Please, yes, support your local public radio and support your local junior college basketball team. But yeah, so today in studio, we have... He needs no introduction for our listeners and viewers, but our general manager, Dave Riek. Thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be here, Victor. And I hope that Johnny makes a rapid recovery. He said he was feeling a little bit under, and I told him somehow we'll struggle through and make a show because the show must go on, of course. But it's kind of a special day today. This is the final day of our brief spring fundraising campaign. And so it's important for us to try to get the message across that local public radio is an important part of every community that has a local public radio station, and that we've been kind of under some significant threats lately. And I am confident that this community will rally and get behind KAWC and KOFA Border Radio and support us. So we're encouraging people to go to KAWC.org or they use the KAWC KOFA app to click that donate button, make a contribution. Listener support has always been a hallmark of public radio, and I think it's important that even though we are now branching into this new era where our radio show is on a TV, seems like. I don't know.
YouTube.
I did not get into radio to have people see my face, but nonetheless, it's a new era, and we've got to move forward. And when Johnny approached me with the idea of doing a community-focused radio show that would be focused on what makes Yuma a special place, what makes this community unique, and how do the people who live in this community serve the community, I thought that sounds like a natural fit for public radio. Of course, we don't sell anything on this station or on this program. We do promote things that are going on, but we don't sell things because we are non-commercial. But I thought it was a natural fit, and I'm excited that it's evolved already since July, and I'm glad, Victor, you're getting involved with it too. I kind of bristle when I see your shirt, but if the Suns could play the Kings every game, I think we'd have a great season.
Yes, I know. Well, the Suns are doing great, as I've talked about with Johnny a little bit, the Suns are doing great and maybe a little overachieving because they've had some injuries and Devin Booker, but yes, if the Suns are not playing the Kings, I will root for the Suns. I'll give you that much.
Well, that's the thing about public radio is that we bring all perspectives together and we all work together because our real focus is on serving the community, and that's what public broadcasting is all about.
That's right, and you can support it right now at 877-838-5292, or you can go to borderradioaz.org and click the donate button. But I also want to take this time because we do have. We did do the takeover show essentially since Johnny's not feeling so good today. And Johnny, we hope you feel better soon. Received something that we need to talk about.
Yes.
Because as I've been saying to Dave, we're going to celebrate you whether you like it or not. So Dave was recently awarded with a Lifetime Service Award from the Arizona Media Association, and you can learn more about that on the KAWC.org website. But I'm going to take some time to talk about it right now.
Go
because
for it.
Dave, how did it feel? Because I know when you got the phone call about hey, we're going to give you this award, how did that feel when you got that call?
Well, it was I was totally shocked because when I got the call, I didn't recognize the caller ID. And then when he told me he was with the Arizona Media Association, I assumed he was calling to talk about the grant we received from them to create our Education Solutions Reporter position. And our addition of Cisco Stargazer to our team has just been a tremendous boost to our team, but also to our service to the community. And even today we were hearing stories and features from Cisco. So I assumed that's what it was about. And then we said, oh, no. We want you to come to Phoenix and have free lunch at the Biltmore so we can give you an award. I was like, wow, I lived in Phoenix for 20 years and I never got to go to the Biltmore. That sounds great.
You're coming up in this world, Dave.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and free lunch. He had me at free lunch.
Yeah.
But no, it was a tremendous thrill and honor to hear that. People recognize that the 40 years I've spent working in public media across Arizona, and it's I think I mentioned this earlier today on Morning Edition. I've gotten a chance over my career to not only work at KNAU and Flagstaff for some 25 years and 20 years here in Yuma, but I've gotten a chance to help a lot of other communities develop their radio stations, and helped out with when Gray Hills Academy in Tuba City built a radio station. I helped out with the Hopi station, KUII. I helped out Preston Arrowweed when he wanted to create a low-power FM station in Winter Haven, and I've worked as a consultant with stations in Colorado and other places, and it's been a thrill to me to extend that service to more and more communities, because every public radio broadcasting outlet is a chance for a local community to express themselves and to also hear each other's concerns and victories and tribulations and things. And that's what it's all about. It's storytelling, but it's instead of sitting around a campfire, we're sitting around listening to a radio or we're staring at our phone listening to it.
Yeah.
But it's all the same concept. Is people always have stories to tell to each other, and if we can harness technology to amplify that, I think that's fantastic.
So are there stories that have stuck out in your mind as oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to tell that story?
There have been a few. One of my most favorite moments was I got a chance through my friendship with Cindy Carpian, who was a longtime NPR producer. She spent some time when she had relocated to Flagstaff, and she was calling her friends back at NPR saying, "There's some cool stories out here in Flagstaff. Why don't you guys come out? We can hang out," because they're all friends. We can hang out, and we'll get NPR to pay to have you come out and have a vacation in Flagstaff, and we'll gather a bunch of tape, and then we'll create stories. And one time she got Susan Stamberg, who just recently passed away. I'm so sorry to hear about that. But anyway, she came out, and Susan Stamberg kind of is the godmother of NPR, and she gets to do art stories on the radio. And she doesn't just she almost never does musicians. She does fashion. So she decided to do a story about architecture, about Mary Coulter, who was a woman who in the 1920s was the architect who designed most of the buildings at the South Rim of the Grand Canyon. She also designed several hotels at railroad stations along the Santa Fe Railroad. These were the Harvey resorts, and it was a blast. We got to go to Winslow, where they've restored the old Harvey Hotel. We got to go up to the Grand Canyon. We actually, the plan was to go up to the Grand Canyon and get some tape, and then I was supposed to go home and then come back. Well, we got snowed in. During dinner, it snowed. And so I ended up sleeping on the couch of one of the park rangers' cabin and stuff. But it was a great adventure. And we spent about 3 days gathering tape, and it turned into a fantastic feature that aired on NPR. And that was just, and again, it was telling the story of those communities that have a historical significance, but also have a cultural significance. The Harvey resorts were known for the Harvey Girls, which were young women who were recruited, this was in the 1920s, to come out to the West and work at these resorts. And they had this kind of like French-made uniform, although it was down past the knees. And
different times.
Yeah. But the cool thing was we found some of those Harvey girls, and she got a chance to interview them to talk about that.
Okay.
Of course, they were in their 70s and 80s at the time. But it was a great story. And again, that it was a demonstration of what we do. And you know this, Victor.
Yes.
We must have spent, like I say, 3 days. We must have gathered 30 hours worth of audio, and it ended up being a 6-minute piece.
Right.
On morning edition.
That's the good and the bad about when we're out on a scene. We talk to several people, we get a lot of audio, we get a lot of ambient, but then we have to produce something that's like 4, maybe 10 minutes at most, maybe a little longer if it's really good.
And you've got to make those tough choices of what are you going to leave in. And of course, in those days, it was all on reel to reel, and so you were literally cut in with a razor blade, and you were dropping on the floor. It's like, I'm not going to be able to use that.
It's what Ken Burns calls killing the little darlings.
But and we still have that same dedication here today, and we are still using those same approaches and things like that. But it's just all done digitally. But that was a lot of fun. Getting a chance to work with her and to tell those stories, and it definitely helped me step up my game in terms of being a storyteller.
So Dave, yesterday we celebrated Rural Voices Day, and we each, yourself, me, and Cisco and Alexandra have videos online. People can go see those on our Facebook page and on our social media. But again, what was your message on why rural voices are important?
Well, the point I'm trying to make, and I've been stressing this all throughout this week, is that we serve a dual purpose as a public radio station, especially in a rural community. I heard this phrase, it started coming up about 10 years ago, of news deserts. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've lived in the desert most of my life, but I've always followed the news. I don't know what that means, but it means that there are a lot of communities that don't have any working journalists telling the stories in those communities. And I'm not super cynical. I'm usually pretty optimistic. But can you imagine what it'd be like if the local government leaders knew that no one was looking over their shoulder? I mean, I hate to think what that would lead to. But at any rate, we analyze what's going on in our community. We look for the stories that are important to the people who live in our community, and we pursue those stories and we tell those stories to the community. Independently, we bring in stories from all over the world through our affiliations with NPR and the BBC and the New York Times and all these other great producers around the world. So people in Yuma can know what's going on in Yuma and what's going on in Iran or what's going on Wall Street. All of those stories are important to the people of Yuma, and they are important to being a good citizen and also, maybe managing your portfolio and stuff. But they're all important. But then also when we tell the stories of Yuma, they go back to NPR, and people outside of Yuma hear of what it's like to be here. I've been telling the team for a couple of years now, we have got to tell the story that living on the border is actually fun and it's great and it's not scary.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
Right.
And that's a story that's getting buried in other markets, but we need to tell that story. So that's what we're working to do. And now we're also telling that story from the perspective of young people through our Student Newsroom project.
Right, because we, as I've said before, and I sound like a broken record, but we want to reflect our community. And so that includes not just, that includes all ages, English speakers, Spanish speakers, other languages that are spoken out there, the Native community. We like to have as much, Native news as we can, and then we have National Native News as part of our programming. And so, again, if you like what you hear, please consider making a donation to KAWC and KOFA Border Radio at KAWC.org. There's a phone number, 877-838-5292.
You got it.
And there's also the app.
Mm-hmm. So right now, we hope that you'll show your support. You can become a day sponsor with an $88.90 contribution, or you can go online and become a monthly donor at kawc.org/donate, or you can go to borderradioaz.org and show your support there too. Now, Dave, you'll be retiring in June. I keep saying that just so that I can try to absorb it.
Well, it's a flexible thing, Alice. If you keep this up, it may turn out to be March.
Oh,
yeah, just kidding.
Yeah, he's like, please stop it.
Yeah.
But what do you hope this station continues to be or becomes for the community in the future?
Well, what I love about the future, especially the way I've seen it evolve over the last few years, is there's no way of knowing. But I do know that the people that we are putting in place, we've still got Victor here. He's been doing a great job. We've got Alexander Rangel, who's now taken on this new role as content director. We've got Anthony Ornelas. We're bringing on more new people. I think I'm thrilled to think that younger, smarter people than me are going to take this place and make it even better and more relevant. And to me, I've been working on projects like we created Siendo Primero, and Lou created the Hotspot podcast. Having young people tell stories from their perspective for people, for that audience, I think it's going to be the fascinating thing, is bringing that audience in and letting them know that you can get all kinds of media. There's all kinds of content out there, but to do it with the values that we have of respect for the community, respect for the listener, respect for the subject matter that you're working with, and being honest about what's going on, admitting your mistakes, doing things the right way, carrying that forward, I think is going to be continue to make public broadcasting that distinctive voice within all the voices that you can hear.
Well, and the interesting thing about public media is that we continue to, in spite of everything, have this weird funding model where we are giving people the service that you are counting on every single day for free, and then occasionally we ask you to help pay for it. So right now we're asking you to help pay for this service and to help make programs like What's Up Yuma possible. Give us a call at 877-838-5292 or go online to kawc.org/donate and make a contribution of any amount, because your support is welcomed and appreciated and critical, especially during the new reality. So Dave Riek, General Manager of KAWC and KOFA, thank you so much for your decades of service here in Yuma, and also thank you for being just an awesomely good guy who's a good boss to work for.
Yes, thanks so much, and I appreciate all the support we've had from the community, and I want to thank everyone who gets involved now at KAWC.org or on the KAWC app, and thanks so much.
All right, well, we'll have to leave it there, but I'm sure we'll have Dave on again before he leaves us here on the What's Up Yuma show. But so we are going to take a break, but on the when we return, we will have Captain Owen Van Wyck. He's the Comstrat Director for MCAS Yuma, and he has a guest, and he'll tell us about the upcoming Yuma Air Show. So thank you again for listening to What's Up Yuma Radio.
Today's day sponsor is Mountain Shadows Artist Association, hosting Art Trails, a self-guided art studio tour from 10 to 4 tomorrow and Saturday at Yuma and Foothills locations. It is an opportunity to discover original art and meet local working artists. Details and map are at mtnsaa.org and on Facebook.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. Next time on Latino USA, we bring you narrative storytelling, deep dives into how politics affect everyday life, and lively pop culture roundtables. Hear engaging conversations with newsmakers, artists, and much more. That's next time on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM. It's sunny and breezy in Yuma, Parker, and Quartzsite today. We expect an afternoon high of about 80 degrees. Winds are at 15 to 20 miles per hour, but could gust as high as 30 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 50 degrees.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Victor Calderon, and I'm here in studio with Alice Ferris, and our next guests are Captain Owen Van Wyck, Comstrat Director for MCAS Yuma, and Joseph Gonzalez, Marketing Department Manager. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us.
Thank you for having us.
Let's get you closer to the mics there. Yeah, so you're here to talk about the Yuma Air Show that's taking place March 14th.
Yes, we are. We're excited. It is the 60th annual Yuma Air Show. Again, like you said, March 14th, and we're excited. It's going to be a good show.
So, Joseph, anything special planned for the 60th anniversary?
Yes, sir. We're really bringing it back local to Yuma and focusing on a lot of Yuma. So for our hospitality chalets, we do have local chef Alex Catering, who's going to be providing that, as well as we have almost 20 food trucks that are going to be there, as well as novelty vendors. And so you're going to see some of your local favorites from around town, as well as a few extras as well.
So a lot of our viewers and listeners will know the air show. You know, they see it every year. They've been out there. Most of them have. I've been out there. I enjoy seeing all of the people going out, and there's a community, right? There's a community that comes out year after year. They know, maybe they want to see their favorite food vendor, or maybe they want to see one of the, special guests. Remind again who are some of the special guests in the air will be.
Of course, our Marine Corps Aviation, our F-35B is one of the stars of the show. However, we will be featuring a large performance from Tora Tora Tora, who's going to do a reenactment of including explosions and everything.
Yeah, those are always cool, right? The explosions, right? Those get the people coming in.
There's a lot. I don't know if your audience can see, but this is our current performer lineup. Everything in red there has an explosion.
Okay, so he's showing me I can hold this up. So there's a lot of pyro involved, and that's there's a lot of demonstrations with pyro. So if you are a pyromaniac, coming out to the Yuma Air Show.
Yeah, and like you said, this is really a community event. Yeah. The air station is closed off 364 days a year for obvious reasons. Busiest air station in the Marine Corps. So we really take this seriously. It's our one opportunity to open the base up, bring in the community. Again, the air show's for the community. community, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. So, Alice, have you had a chance to go out to the air show before?
Not this air show, but I have been to several air shows around the country and actually around the world. And you're right, the pyro totally always gets everybody.
Oh, yeah.
But I was looking at the lineup for this year's air show and thinking, oh, wow, there's some really kind of popular ones. But are there some hidden gems, do you think, that you're like, oh, you shouldn't miss this part of the show because you may not be the person who says, oh, I want to see the warbirds or I want to see the, the aerobatics and that kind of thing. But what's the one thing that someone might miss?
One of the reasons why we tell people to actually come out to the air show is because what's in the air is only half the actual show.
Mm-hmm.
So again, for our performer lineup, one of the ones that's on the ground is going to be precision exotics. And so attendees are going to get the chance to get inside of a supercar, go 180 miles an hour down our runway in between jets flying over. And so it's a really cool experience. And again, it's one that you can't get if you're just out in town watching the planes. You've got to come onto the air station and experience firsthand.
Well, that's an interesting thing because I know when I'm on a flight line looking at an air show, it gets overwhelming. There's so many things going on at the same time. What do you look for? If you're like coming at it from a spectator's point of view, what are you looking for?
I personally like the warbirds and everything because as those aircraft age and everything, they're becoming less and less to see actual flying and everything. With our 60th anniversary, bringing in the old warbirds kind of takes it back to old school MCAS, and what was possibly here at one point in time.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Captain?
I'm a big fan of what's actually on the ground. So we've got a bunch of static display aircraft that come in, and it's an opportunity. If you're a spectator, you can literally go crawl over some of these aircraft. You can get inside of them, touch things, meet the pilots, and not all of them are, ones that we're flying. For example, we have what's called an Aviate Bravo Harrier. It was the last survivor of the Bastion attack, and we're bringing that on display. Not going to be able to crawl all over that one, but you get to see actual pieces of history in front of you up close. That's my favorite part.
The thing that always scares me when I see the warbirds and those really old aircraft, those old historic aircraft, is just how small the inside of those airplanes. And you think, these are people who were out fighting for our country, who were like crammed into these incredibly small spaces. Do you have other experiences like that where you think, oh, wow, I couldn't have done that?
Well, I mean, I will say, being in the Marines, they pay us to do that. It's kind of part of our job. I am not a pilot, so I cannot attest to that. But again, we've got amazing Marines out there that can speak firsthand to it. Again, they're going to have those aircraft not only up in the sky, but they're going to have the static displays, and they're going to have pilots there. So if you're interested in really getting an understanding of what it's like, come out and talk to the pilot. They're there to answer the questions and really give you an idea of what it's like to sit in one of, the F5 Tiger, which is a very small jet that goes very fast.
So here on What's Up Yuma, we like to get to know our guests, get to know the people behind the news, right? So let's start with you, Captain. So where are you from originally?
I grew up outside of Seattle, Washington. Left there when I joined the Marine Corps, which, 17 years ago now. And I've called Yuma home for about the last 30 years now.
And so what were your first impressions of Yuma? Did you know much? Did people give you advice or what to expect out here?
I didn't know anything about Yuma when I got orders here, and I was pleasantly surprised. My first day here, first full day, I got here on a Thursday. First actual day was the Friday night, first Friday, I think it was, where all the food trucks and all the people came out. And I was like, okay, I can get used to this. The culture here is great. The people are amazing. The food is outstanding. And so I was happy once I got here, for sure.
Yeah, very much so. And so, Joseph, where are you from originally? Are you from Yuma?
Originally from Portales, New Mexico, right on the border of Texas, little small town with about 15,000 people, where everybody knows each other, everybody. But moved here in 1995 when I was 8 years old for a family move. And my first thought of jumping out, that was in the middle of summer. Going from wind and rain from my hometown to middle summer Yuma, it was like an oven opening that door. And that was my first thought of what is this?
Yeah, I know, right? There's nothing that can prepare you for just the heat and the continued, and we're already experiencing 95-degree temperatures, right?
Yes, but I've become accustomed to it. I actually prefer the heat now. I kind of compare myself to a lizard sometimes. I enjoy the heat.
Yeah. So, Captain, you mentioned that the base is closed for 364 days. What would each of you like, our listeners and our viewers to know about MCAS Yuma, the community there, the men and women who work there every day, doing the great work that they do?
Like I said, Marine Corps Air Station Yuma is the busiest air station in the Marine Corps. We're regularly within the top 5 across the entire Department of Navy. Run an extreme amount of air-to-ground ordnance, over 1 million acres of range space. We are quite busy, but again, we're nothing without the Yuma community. It was seen Yuma was selected through the Great American Defense Council as one of the top 3 military-friendly cities in the country. That doesn't happen, without reason. And so, again, we're all about the community, and so that's why we're, trying so hard to put on a great show, because again, we want to bring the community on and give them an opportunity to see what we're doing behind the fence line.
Yeah, what would you like to share about MCAS Yuma that the public doesn't know or that you don't think gets reported enough?
I would just like to say that we do have a very strong community on base, and obviously with everybody coming from multiple different places around the United States and world, this is the chance that they kind of get to come into our base community and be a part of what we are, see the things that we kind of see close up every day, and just to see what we do there and everything.
Yeah. Now, while we were talking, I thought of another event that I have been on base for besides the air show, and that's the Yuma Fight Night.
Yes.
I know that's another popular event where it brings the community in, because as we talked about on What's Up Yuma, Johnny's had some people on. There's a big MMA mixed martial arts community here in Yuma. People may not know, but we've had a lot of fighters come through.
Yes.
Men and women who are training now, they're starting, or they've come through. They've gone up like to UFC. But remind our listeners about the Yuma Fight Night and what that's about.
This is the guy. He ran. He's responsible for putting on the fight night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so that was just a community thing that we had never really done here on our base for the population stuff. So that was something that we've done for 2 years now. This year, we do plan to bring something back like that again. It is going to be a little bit of a different format and everything. And we also recently just did the stunt show on base. That was very well received. First time for us doing that. But yeah, we do have something in the works with the local fight company to do something again.
Okay, because when I went out there, it was really fun, and we'll get to you in a second. Yeah. But it was really fun because it's an event for the local community, but also for the men and women on base.
Yes.
Right, and it's a chance for them to come out and dress down and just get away from their normal day-to-day lives.
Kind of. The small caveat, though, is the audience members were only Marines. And so they were only family members and Marines who are already on station. Obviously, the fighters are from the local community, which, again, is why the air station is so special. Because, yes, the MMA fight was a community night, but the air show is really that only chance we actually bring the audience in from out.
For everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, everybody is invited.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
And so can you remind our folks, our listeners and viewers, where they can get more information on the event?
Yes, YumaAirShow.com. Tickets are selling out fast for our preferred seating. So please get in on there. We have last chance pricing going on right now. But that will give you the full lineup, schedule, performers, and other information about food trucks and everything from there.
Well, and I think it's fantastic because you have such a diverse lineup for the air show. And I was surprised that it's like the 60th year of this.
Yes.
And so are there things that you are highlighting this year that you're bringing back from some of kind of the classic air show elements of the show?
The jet truck is a very popular one that usually comes through every year, that have been a part of our show almost every year that I can be a part of it in the past 15 years. So that's pretty popular of when it's racing, an F-35 or in maybe one of the Warbirds.
One of the ones we haven't had in several years that's coming back is the mounted color guard. So we're bringing over the horses and all that stuff from Barstow. We haven't had that in several years, and so very excited to see that as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, and looking at the lineup, it is just a really diverse lineup for the air show, especially compacting into a very short schedule.
Yeah.
It really is amazing how much you can do. How do you think about that flow, in terms of the energy but how do you stack up all of these amazing performers?
That is a great question. I will tell you that planning starts a couple years out. And so while we are about a week away from the 60th annual, planning has already started for the 61st and 62nd
Wow.
annual.
Yes.
So there's a lot of thought that goes into it, how the shows build upon each other as the day progresses. What do we start out with? Again, it's all about the audience experience. Everything from the time that they park and go through our security to the first booth that they see, it's all designed around user experience, audience experience. And so we're refining that every year. So last year was great. This year's going to be better.
Yeah. In between air acts and everything, we have plenty of, booths and stuff with different businesses, different things to offer and everything. And then also, the Monster is bringing a BMX team out.
Wow.
So that's going to be something on the ground that these bikes will be going in the air, but that is something to see on the ground right there.
Yeah. But how many people does it take to put on this event, right? We're talking about behind the scenes, as you mentioned, there's men and women setting up, tearing down during the event, hospitality, VIP, all that good stuff. How many people does it take to put on an event like this every year? Ballpark it.
I don't think we're going to even be able to give you a ballpark.
Okay.
There's in the thousands, obviously, because there's the Marines that fly the aircraft, maintain the aircraft, set up, tear down, volunteer. We've got a children's expo the day prior, where we bring out 150 kids to watch the practice day. And so all the way from, today, 1,000 people are involved, say, 2 years from now. And so it's just a big number. I wish I could give you better details.
All hands on deck, as they say, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anything else you want to mention about the show? Again, it's March 14th. Are there other events before or after that folks can go to related to it, like anything out in the greater community? Or
Yes, so I will be there this weekend manning the booth for Yuma Air Show at Midnight at the Oasis.
Oh, great.
So come see me out on Saturday. Mention that you heard me on the radio or saw me, and I might have something special for you air show related.
All right, we'll have to do that. So again, the website for information if folks want to get, or a phone number if anyone wants to get out there, or social media when you want to plug that.
Yep. Yuma Air Show on Facebook, as well as YumaAirShow.com. Just want to remind the community that the air show is free to attend. We do have paid seating options, but it is general, open to the public.
Right, and because I know you say that, and I know there's people that sometimes they park across the street out off of 32nd, right, the Yuma County Fairgrounds, and they look up in the air because the show's in the air, right? You can't put like a dome or like a tent over, over that.
General parking is accessible through County 14th, so that's going to be the route into our general parking area. We invite you, if you normally go to the fairgrounds, come on to the airfield. Come see. Really, it's a whole totally different environment. And I think once you see it, you're just going to be amazed.
And the weather's looking good. And I know we're about a little more than a week out, but as far as you can tell with the forecast, it's going to be good viewing weather.
I think so. I've heard that Yuma is known for its sunny days, and so I think we're on track for an amazing day as far as weather goes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then anything else you want to mention about MCAS Yuma? And we have a couple of minutes here about again the work that you all do there on base.
I work for the civilian sector. We provide all the base services, so that's from running the gas station to counseling services to our station gym. We're, like I said, we're kind of a mini community within the community of Yuma, and that's what I've done for the past 15 years, and enjoyed all my roles that I've been in, and just serving the military back.
And I have to ask, because funding's always a concern, right? Is there anything that out of your reach that may or may not impact who comes to the air show or who performs?
Our air show, our schedule, all of our performers, they are locked on.
Okay.
Yeah, that is not an issue. Again, we start planning so far in advance that we're scheduled to be on track for Saturday.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
And so in closing, Captain, is there anything else you want to say? Make your pitch to folks why you come out?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Yuma Air Show 60th Annual, March 14th. Gates open at 9. Free admission to everyone. Come early. Bring the family. Enjoy the time. We've got pages of vendors from the community, food trucks from out the region, performers from around the world. So come, enjoy. We're excited to host the community next Saturday, March 14th.
March 14th, all right. And I believe I'll be out there, and we'll try to get some folks out there as well. And again, if you are at the Midnight at the Oasis, look for Joseph.
Yes, sir.
And mention that you heard or saw him on What's Up Yuma Radio, and he might hook you up with something.
Well, thank you both gentlemen for coming in, and we're looking forward to a successful show this year.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
All right. And so with that, we'll have to leave it there. But again, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornelas, Juan Garcia, Dave Riek, and Cecilia Holland Braithwaite. And you can find out more about KAWC.org on Facebook at KAWC Radio and on the KAWC app.
And stay tuned for KOFA Midday Music.
And on tomorrow's program, we have Bobby Jo Daly. She is the clerk for the Yuma County Superior Court. And we also have Carly Sandoval. She is with the Yuma Justice Court. Uh-oh, did Johnny not pay a traffic ticket or something? We'll have to find out what that's about. No, but they may be running for office as well. They may be running for re-election or something to that effect.
There you go.
So we'll have them on tomorrow. And again, thank you for listening to What's Up, Yuma.
And you can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
Alice, how do you think I did today?
I think you did well, Victor. How do you think I did?
Great. Well, you are the expert. You are the original. You could do this with your eyes closed because people may know you. You're our voice on KAWC and KOFA Border Radio. You also work with PBS doing some fundraising for them. And so again, we are in pledge drive for KAWC and KOFA Border Radio. So if you like what you hear, please consider donating at kawc.org. You can call 877-838-5292. There's the KOFA app. Anything else you wanted to say, Alice?
No, just make your contribution right now, and thank you for listening to What's Up Yuma Radio on KOFA Border Radio.
We're not used to saying that because we're usually not in these chairs. Usually it's a Johnny and someone else, and I've been co-hosting and lucky to co-host with him. And if Dave thinks I did well, I'll be back tomorrow with Johnny, hopefully. And again, check out the Yuma Air Show March 14th. And it's a great event. It's a great community event. So we want to see you all there. And if you see me out there, say hi. And again, thank you for listening. And come back tomorrow for more. What's Up, Yuma Radio?
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
This is Border Radio, KOFA Yuma. We can be heard on a radio at 94.7 FM and 1320 AM, on a computer at kawc.org, and on your phone with the KOFA app. We have been a service of Arizona Western College for more than 55 years.
Blood services provider Vitalant is hosting blood drives at Yuma locations on an ongoing basis. Daily personal emergencies and ongoing medical needs of thousands of patients require a constant and ready blood supply. Donations of all blood types, especially O, are needed. Locations, dates, and appointments at donors.vitalant.org.